Hello guys, I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran, more like 30, and today we're talking about the worst news to happen to all of comics in 2025. And I honestly was holding out that this news would actually come in 2026. We've been kind of following it, but guys, it is official. If you guys don't know, but Diamond Comics moves to Chapter 7 bankruptcy. What does this mean? Well, guys, we're going to fill you in on that. But before we do, please look down below, hit like, subscribe, ring that bell for notification as we do the pop culture news, the comic book news, and so on and so forth. Now, Diamond, for people who don't know, in January of 2025, at the beginning of the year, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And what is Chapter 11 bankruptcy? It's kind of a type of bankruptcy that reorganizes to try to keep the business going. It means like you're basically going into bankruptcy. Maybe you're slowing down the roll on paying people money and stuff like that, with the intentions of coming out of this in a few months, restructuring, maybe laying some departments off, some people off, reconfiguring, and also looking for funding and another buyer. And that was one of the things that they've been going through all year. There was an auction that didn't go so well. We did a video on that. It's been a very convoluted mess. I cannot explain to you all the ins and outs of this bankruptcy, and none of it really matters. That's the thing. All year, this stuff doesn't actually matter. Companies that try to buy it, like Sparkle Pop, all that, doesn't matter. Ad Populum, doesn't matter. All these people wanting those retail shops information, doesn't matter. Why? Because now it's Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And Chapter 7 bankruptcy means like basically you're liquidating. You're selling off everything. You pay creditors what you can, not what you have to. And that's a really big, important part. And you're preparing to shut down. Now, in the American comic book industry, if you're a normie, I'm going to explain to you how devastating this is to small publishers, comic shops potentially, and big publishers, even big boys like Marvel and DC. Although everybody's going to say Marvel and DC, they left. They were still allowing Diamond to order through Penguin Random House. Penguin Random House, again, owed a lot of money from Diamond because Penguin Random House was also giving them the dog bands, all of that stuff, whatever. Again, a lot of people, a lot of eggs, one basket, the handle breaks. That's the visual metaphor of this. So, wow, 2026 is going to look like shit, okay? Like, it's not going to look good. Let me explain what this means to normies, okay? So, if I'm a guy making a product, I invest my money in making a comic, I have my comic together, I go put it in the Diamond catalog, I wait 2.5 months once I enter the catalog for people to be able to order it. Diamond takes the money from the comic shop, roughly 3 months there. They print my book, they distributed my book, or I locate the printer, it goes to Diamond, all of that stuff. It sits in Diamond, Diamond sends it to the comic shop who paid for the money. In this whole time, Diamond's not turned loose of the money. That's an important part. And then 2 months later, if there's no returns or anything like that, I get my money back from Diamond minus their cut. I know. Just understand, for about 3 to 6 months, potentially, Diamond Comics is holding your money and your product, both. So a lot of people, their products that Diamond has been holding being liquidated, being sold for less. They're not getting anything, if anything at all, from whatever Diamond decides to give them, you're getting. So good luck on even trying to remanufacture your product and sell, because it's already, guess what, been sold for cheaper. And that's probably going to hurt you on any consecutive issue or any consecutive product that ties into it. And there are a lot of people, let's just face it, they're not going to be able to weather that storm, that loss. A lot of people already day one going into Diamond in debt for manufacturing their product. So they're getting taken to the cleaners on this. They're going to have to probably, again, a domino effect of bankruptcies, because now they're going to be owed money from maybe a printer, maybe a manufacturer, maybe talent. Now they got to file bankruptcy. And this becomes a domino effect. And it's probably already been happening. You know, we've covered stories like Dynamite wasn't able to pay their employees a few months ago. And we're not talking about the talent that made the book. We're talking about their staffers and actually having to try to raise money and do humble bumbles, sells and stuff like that to try to pull back some money just so they can, I don't know, have Christmas or Thanksgiving or something like that. I don't understand how bad this is because I'm not even sure how this might affect some comic shops. I'm not sure if some comic shops have still been foolishly ordering and giving money to Diamond, and you're not getting your money back and you're not getting the product. The fear is this is really going to hurt small publishers. Jimmy Palmiotti over here. I feel for the small publishers, though I don't know the details of how this rolls out, but it feels bad on a number of levels to me. I mean, most of us comic professionals are not going to understand how it's affecting retailers. If you're a retailer, I'd like to know, is it possible your old product and Diamond has your money? I'm actually interested in that. You can always contact us on 9livescomics.com, our website, where you can order our books and they ship out next day. Inglorious Rex, Starlight Cats, Extend. It's all here. 2 volumes of the Inglorious Rex up here. And guys, we've been crowdfunding for some years. So this isn't affecting us at all. Actually, I'm impervious to it. And part of being independent is making sure you have not a single point of failure. Actually, you're trying to shell off from most things that can cost you, like Diamond has. Now, one of the worst things that's happening in all of this mess is Diamond going under Chapter 7 this year, 2025. I don't give a shit how many copies of the Absolute Batman you sold. It doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you did Batman, Deadpool, Marvel and DC teamed up for that one shot, 2-issue, one shot. Doesn't matter, because this doesn't look good to the guys buying the company. And that is happening this year, whether you like it or not. 2026, we're probably going to see like Warner Brothers owned by Netflix or a hostile takeover by Paramount Skydance. It doesn't really matter which one it is when it comes to the comics, because neither one of them are going to want to invest in publishing, and especially periodical publishing like floppies and comics, when this is the news, okay? This is the bow on the thing, on the publication that they're buying. And nobody's buying Warner Brothers because they want to publish Batman or Superman comics. Let's be honest. They're buying it because they want the intellectual property. That can be a video game. That can be AI cartoons. It can be AI comics for all they care. They don't really care. And one of the worst things that's about comics right now that the Diamond use, and I hate to tie all this stuff up, is guess what also has never worked in this transaction that's getting ready to happen of owning Warner Brothers and the publishing division. Digital doesn't work. It doesn't work. Digital has not taken off. Webtoons has gotten a few things to work. And I mean a few things when you look at the greater scale of books that people try to put up on Webtoons. Nobody really knows how to monetize webcomics yet. It only works for a 1%. Marvel and DC have never gotten web comics to work for them, and now they're doing partnerships with Webtoons, hoping to get it some of that shine. Look, it don't look good. It doesn't look good at all. 2026, I'm actually more concerned for comic shops. Look, small publishers, yeah, Shane, you should be concerned for them. There were tons of signs, guys. I kind of want to applaud some people that hung in there, like Eric Stevens, Image Comics, but you didn't. As soon as Diamond filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, you were out the door, Eric Stevens, after lecturing Marvel and DC years prior to leaving Diamond. You then did the thing that you lectured them for doing, and that's running out the door. And this was a collapsing circus tent. Diamond was. I hate to tell people, when Marvel and DC left, it basically ensured that Diamond Comics would be right here, right now, Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And I think that's ironic, considering Warner Brothers, DC Comics is now up for sale. And they probably thought they were doing the smartest thing to reconfigure and be insulated from any type of economy hits by Diamond, like when they shut down during COVID. But I actually think that was probably, in hindsight, the worst thing they could do, because today the news, the comic book news, don't look good. Comic book shops, I don't know if they're going to survive without Diamond. There are so many of these guys, and I know them, that they are lifers, that they owed money to Diamond, so they had to be Diamond lifers. That a lot of these guys aren't going to weather this. They're not going to trust that Penguin Random House or even Marvel and DC are still in the business of making comics, as they're teaming up to make 1-2 one-shots rather than a line-wide thing. Things just don't look healthy there. If you're following the team-up stuff they're doing, like the Batman Deadpool or the Superman Spider-Man, it all looks like nice on the front end, but if you look at the back end, it's like, why aren't you guys just doing a lot of these things like a Justice League, JLA, Avengers team up? Why aren't you teaming up a bunch of these books and driving people to the shops for 6 months straight? Instead, it's like touch and go, touch and go. Okay, I guess we got 3 more months of making comics. We'll do a Spider-Man, Superman. 3 more months, they'll evaluate it. Okay, we're still in it in 2026, mid-2026. Let's do Daredevil, Green Arrow. And then we'll revisit it. Oh, let's do Wonder Woman, Storm. And it doesn't look good. I haven't seen good news this year. And I know everybody's going to say, but Absolute Batman's selling. Absolute Batman is not going to carry the comic book industry. It's not going to justify that. One book does not justify making an entire library of 22-page pamphlets that nobody wants. They're not books that people are wanting to buy. And this is coming off of trans writers celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk and DC Comics having to pulp a bunch of Red Hood comics. There's so many problematic things in monthly comic publishing. There's no vetting for comic creators. To be honest, there's no vetting on the comic editors. So I don't know if the new owners care to invest in monthly publishing. And this is the worst case scenario. Again, using diamonds, the circus tent, the poles are collapsing, the tent's coming down with the American comic book industry. I'm going to say the same thing goes for monthly comic book publishing. If DC Comics decides to kind of duck out a monthly comic book publishing, and they'll do it in the sense that they'll try to put a face on that this is for a new frontier of publishing, and they're doing OGNs and original graphic novels, and they're transitioning to that, and they'll try to make this a positive rather than a negative. But Marvel's not going to hang in there. They're not going to hold up like the idea of a monthly comic book publishing format if DC Comics ducks out of it. And I don't think it's even up to DC Comics. Everybody thinks, it's up to people at DC Comics. Perch had a historically bad take saying that Netflix makes product. Look, Perch, guess what? Monthly comic book publishing technically isn't merch. It's story-driven stuff. Merch is usually profitable. People don't make merch to lose money. So the idea of comics is research and development to pull some money back. Let's face it, it's not necessary, and it's not going to be as necessary as most people think in terms of like making the next issue a Nightwing or Blue Beetle or some other off character like that. Or maybe they just don't need to make but one Batman book a month and that's it, for some of these intellectual properties. We're in a point where nobody's making a business or reformatting a business to not make money. Okay. And historically, these sales have not worked out. When AT&T bought, say, DC Comics, did not work out. Bloodbaths happened. A lot of people got laid off. I'm just saying, a lot of guys I knew, I'm just saying, headlines like this, the 2025 we had is on the table of whoever buys this company and reevaluating what the hell they're doing with the comic division. If you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification. Also, please go over here and support us. You can buy our books, Inglorious Rex, Starlight Cats, Extend on 9 Lives Comics, and it ships out next day. I'll leave you guys with a trailer for Inglorious Rex, and we'll catch you guys again with another video.
Yeah, I ain't gon' lie to you. Truth always hurts worse. Doing good till first, reverse, now you last. Blast of the past. It's cool though. Last card, play it right. Uno. We never let up. Been down forever. Sick man, we fed up. Know that we tired. Wake up the beast that's been sleeping inside. It's time to ride. We ready to slide. Hard-headed, I will not listen. If you do not get it, that's your bad. Keep up in the sky like we see you feet up. Metal meets metal, it's no keeping up. Sniper division, it's no seeing us. This here is earned, ain't no hookups. Swift you wanna eat, gotta cook up.